Caitlin Clark's absence costs 64% viewership as Iowa Hawkeyes face brutal reality check. Caitlin Clark has earned the nickname Golden Goose of WNBA from Stephen A. Smith for the tremendous growth she's brought to the league's popularity. Well, the statistics her arrival brought were nothing short of extraordinary. But fans indeed had a sense of the kind of impact she would have, especially given the influence she wielded during her college days at Iowa. Now, with Clark in the WNBA, the effect she has had on college basketball's popularity is becoming even more apparent, particularly in Iowa's game viewership. It's a noticeable contrast to what one of her Iowa teammates believed before the season opener. Sports Media Watch released a comprehensive report analyzing viewership trends and statistics across various sports, including women's college basketball. The Sports Media Watch report highlighted Programming Insider's report that ESPN2 averaged 209,000 viewers for last Sunday's Iowa Virginia Tech game, which was the Hawkeyes' first Nielsen-rated game on television this season. Last season, the same matchup also served as Iowa's first game on ESPN's network and drew 583,000 viewers, that too on a Thursday night. This marks a noticeable decline of a staggering 64%. The obvious caveat: Caitlin Clark's absence from Iowa's roster this season. In 2023-24, when Caitlin Clark was leading the charge for Iowa, her team's victory over Nebraska in the Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament final set a new benchmark. The game drew an impressive 3.02 million viewers on CBS, making it the most-watched women's basketball game on the network since the iconic UConn-Tennessee matchup in 1999. Even more remarkable was last season's NCAA championship finale, where the showdown between South Carolina and Iowa captivated around 19 million viewers. Despite the excitement surrounding this season's opening games and the fact that Iowa's home games were sold out, the TV viewership numbers haven't quite matched Clark's era records and are far lower, as per the reports. Well, the drop in viewers may not come as a surprise to many, but it's still a brutal reality check for the program, which has not only lost Clark, but also legendary head coach Lisa Bluder, who retired after last season's national championship game loss. While Hawkeyes continue to sell out home games at the Carver Hawkeye Arena thanks to unwavering support from Iowa fans, it's a different story on television. This just shows that the Caitlin Clark effect is undeniably powerful and continues to make an impact, as evidenced by the reigning Roti recently drawing attention in the world of golf, as well with her appearance at the Annika event. How Caitlin Clark continues to shape sports and fan engagement. The tournament's namesake, golf legend Annika Sorenstam, was grateful for the Indiana Fever Stars' participation, expressing, "Very thankful to her for taking the time to be part of our event." Even Nelly Korda, a seasoned pro, acknowledged the 22-year-old's magnetic influence. "It was really cool to see firsthand today," Korda said, referring to the impressive crowd Clark had drawn in. Now, tennis star Caroline Dolehide also expressed her excitement at the prospect of teaming up with Clark and remained confident that such a collaboration would draw an even bigger crowd. Taken together, it's clear that Caitlin Clark's presence has an undeniable impact on the sports world. Her influence is instant, commanding attention and drawing crowds wherever she goes. So when you look at the dip in Iowa's game viewership, it starts to make sense. Clark's departure leaves a void that's hard to fill, showcasing just how much her aura brought to the table. Caitlin Clark's agent points out reality in negotiating her deals. The Indiana Fever guard was compared to a pair of superstar female athletes. While the WNBA offseason continues, Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark has focused her attention on an entirely different sport: golf. Clark made her Pro-Am debut in the LPGA's The ANNIK on Wednesday in Florida. While it was obvious that her swing needed more work, the Fever guard enjoyed herself. As the calendar turns to 2025, the 22-year-old Clark will begin to refocus on her sophomore season in the WNBA, where she will be under the tutelage of returning Fever coach Stephanie White. Clark will be in the second year of her 4-year, $338,000 contract with the Fever, who selected her as the No. 1 overall pick. Her agent, Aaron Kane, shed light on negotiating deals for the Rookie of the Year, who has become one of the most in-demand athletes today. As far as clients like Caitlin, she's one of one. And so it really is just about setting the market, Kane said on the Diggin' Deep podcast on Wednesday. There's this idea that agents have all the control, or you could just say something and make it into reality. But the reality is you're reading the situation. Kane added that Clark's appeal has brought her to the same tier as other famous female athletes. There's a handful of players that have ignited this level of excitement by being incredible at what they do, Kane said. But also, it's how they do it. Kane cited former tennis superstar Serena Williams and Olympic gymnastics star Simone Biles as two female athletes that Clark's popularity is approaching. Clark, who became a nationwide sensation during her days at Iowa, has numerous endorsements, including Nike, Gatorade, and Wilson, which recently released her new series of basketballs. WNBA Playoff Bracket 2024. Updated picture after Caitlin Clark, Fever lose to Sun. Caitlin Clark had one of the best and certainly most impactful rookie seasons in WNBA history. And yes, it can now be described in the past tense. The Connecticut Sun ended the Indiana Fever season on Wednesday night, winning Game 2 of the first-round series between the teams, 87-81, and completing the sweep. For the Sun, a matchup with either the Phoenix Mercury or Minnesota Lynx remains. For Clark and the Fever, a fantastic season has come to a close, though the future remains bright. All 5 Minnesota starters scored in double figures. The team shot 50.7% from the field and forced 14 turnovers. The difference in talent was too much for the Mercury to overcome. They came out of the gate strong with a 25-21 lead at the end of the first quarter. It was the third quarter that proved to be the difference. The Lynx opened the second half with a 2-point lead before extending it to 76-64 at the end of the third period. This loss could mark the end of Diana Taurasi's legendary career. She received an ovation from the Minnesota crowd after fouling out late in the fourth quarter.